this ever happened to you with somebody that you like really, really, really want to interview?
And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. It is live now, of course. It's internet connection. Got to love technology these days here on the show. Again, powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. Happy Monday to everybody out there. Hope you had a great, wonderful Easter. And, of course, like I said, enjoyed what I did today was a Monday off after Easter to get a few things done. Of course, still got a great show planned for you guys and a great rest of the week of shows coming up here on the Backstage Passing presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey. Check them out at bangtail.com. Easy Liquor, Total Wine and Specs, easyliquor.com. Online order, bangtail.com. And also our friends at Honky Tonk Texas. And we love to drink here, so we couldn't do it without our friends over at Gentle Ben Spirits. Check them out at gentleben.com. Smooth vodka, bourbon, and gin. You will not regret it. Also, if you're going out to Astro games at Minute Maid Park, stop by the bar there at Minute Maid Park and, of course, Toyota Center with the Houston Rockets. And, of course, here on a Monday, feels like a Tuesday almost, and I guess yesterday felt like a Saturday. So these days are kind of bouncing around here. But, of course, I got a chance to check out a really cool album that's coming out May 26th, and pleased to welcome in a guy that knows the Texas scene very well, Austin Gilliam, to the Backstage Pass. Austin, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How about yourself?
Hey, pretty good. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to start right there with it because I've got it right here in my hand. It's coming out May 26th, and it's Austin Gilliam. It's called I'm Sorry, I'm Fine. Tell me about this project, man, because this seems like it's been a little bit of in the works over the past few years. Of course, I love the fact there's some great songs on there, too. And you know that the Texas scene, very well when it comes to music. Tell me a little bit about yourself at the top and a little bit about this project. I'm Sorry, I'm Fine.
I've been in the Texas music scene since probably 2006, with an assortment of artists being a sideman up until about 2013 or 2014. It's whenever I finally looked at my schedule and I was thinking to myself, I really don't have to seek out any gigs or ask anybody if they need a bass player, guitar player, because I've got a full schedule on my own. I've pretty much been doing that ever since. And this record was something that I recorded back in 2017. And I got the masters back, and it was just a case of, I've got a record, now what do I do with it? And I didn't want to release it the wrong way. So I chose not to release it at all until I was able to get a hold of my publicist that we talked about earlier before we came live, Brandy Reed. She's great. And I finally just took the plunge. But of course, 2020 shut down a lot of operations for us in different facets of the music industry. So there was that as well. But so it's a culmination of songs that have been written over the past, I don't know, maybe 10 years or something like that. And I've been sitting on it for long enough, and I've got new material that I'm recording as we speak. And so I wanted to get this stuff out into the world because I just wanted people to hear it finally. So
I love your story because we talk about Texas and Kingsville, Texas. You come from that musically very inclined family too, and playing in bands at 17 right there in the Corpus Christi area where you grew up. Talk about just growing up a little bit around music and, of course, having it engulfed there in your family, and then learning to play guitar from an early age.
I started playing guitar when I was about 9 years old. My mom had an old Epiphone 12-string lying around the house, which I actually still have. And I was just really enthralled about learning how to play it, wanting to do it. And, I saw the Sweet Child of Mine video, and I immediately wanted to be Slash whenever I was 9 years old. I was like, this is the way I want to go. But as far as being from a musically inclined family, yes. Everybody in my family kind of dabbled with music. They didn't follow through with it as much as I did. But like my grandfather and great grandfather were both in the marching band at Notre Dame. My uncles played guitar. My mom played guitar and taught guitar. My dad played guitar. My other grandmother played violin. My mom's mom was a concert pianist up until she was 55, and then she decided to be a cello player for the last 30 years of her life. And so it's there. And my mom always had music going in the house. whenever she'd be cleaning, or we'd just be hanging out, open up all the doors, all the windows, and she would like to listen to like Def Leppard and the '80s stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
my dad always wanted to listen to George Strait and Keith Whitley and stuff like that. So I got the best of both worlds whenever I was growing up. It was really
Yeah.
cool.
Love that too. It's always good to have the different genres of music out there to kind of relate with, and I guess relate to at the same time, because you get a little bit of everything too. It seems like in your kind of guess the wheelhouse too. You love those Ryan Adams type of artists, and Chris Knight, and people like that were just really, and I like them because they were like finger picking guitars. So every time I watch documentaries or films or something like that, or read about those type of artists, Slade Cleaves, all those type of guitars, man, those guys weren't afraid to put it on the line with their finger picking.
No, not at all. I really, especially, I love Chris Knight's way of writing, his melodies and his chord progressions. And it's the same thing with Ryan Adams. I think that they do something. It's a lot more. It's a lot more memorable in my opinion. Or like I was just listening to Gillian Welch and Dave Rawlings do Miss Ohio, and I'm like, it's just a brilliant melody over a good chord progression. And it's not they're not afraid to go a little bit further than just like 3 chords in the verse and 4 chords in the chorus. They try different stuff out, and I think that's what makes them standout artists, stuff like that. That's me babbling about it, but
no, it's all good. That's what we do here on the show. We talk music, and sometimes we babble and have a good time with it. Well, again, it comes out May 26th across all the digital platforms, and I'm gonna ask you about a couple of songs off here too. For "I'm Sorry, I'm Fine," which is the newest piece of work out there from Austin Gilliam too. Make sure you guys go check it out there too as well. I tell you what, let's have you play one off the record. What do you say right now? Let's do that.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
This is the single, the lead off single. This is A Little Dirt. I wrote this with Ross Cooper a few years back out in Nashville, and it's an everyman kind of song. Sounds like this. If you pick me up, I'm a hell of a find. I'm a ragged old shoe, but I'll always stay tight if you let me go. Just keep me in mind. I'm not the flashiest of feathers, but baby, I'm one of a kind. But if I stick too close, push me away. If I talk too loud, just shut me up. Well, I might be a diamond in the rough, little darling. A little dirt, never hurt no one. If you're feeling low, if you're feeling cold, I'll tell the sun to come by and say hello. If you're feeling down, you know I'll come around. I'll play you a song and I'll sing it till your heart's off the ground. But if I stick too close, push me away. If I talk too loud, just shut me up. Well, I might be a diamond in the rough, little darling. A little dirt, never hurt no one. If I sit too close, push me away. If I talk too loud, just shut me up. Well, I might be a diamond in the rough, little darling. A little dirt, never hurt no one. I said I might be a diamond in the rough, little darling. A little dirt, never hurt no one.
Good stuff right there. Austin Gilliam here on the Backstage Pass title track there off of it. A Little Dirt, which actually leads off the record. I'm Sorry, I'm Fine, which comes out May 26th across all the digital platforms. And we got to take a little bit of a time out here on the show. Of course, we'll have coming up here, talk about 2 or 3 more songs off the record there and a little bit about some of the background where Austin kind of got started there. With a great song we're going to talk about here in just a few minutes here on the Backstage Pass. Of course, coming up this week, some more great shows. You got to tune in, find out who's coming on here on the Backstage Pass. Quick timeout, friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and our friends over at Gentle Ben Spirits. More with Austin Gilliam here. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. The show again. I like that little intro there with the guitar. I like that here. Austin Gilliam here on the Backstage Pass, presented by our friends over at Gentle Ben Spirits, Honky Tonk, Texas, and our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey. Check out our sponsors there at the bottom of your screen. Again, the new record comes out, I'm Sorry, I'm Fine, May 26th across all the digital platforms. Got a little pre-copy here myself. You get a chance to check out the record over the last few days. Let's talk about Running. Austin, I thought that was kind of a cool twist you put on that one, which is really cool. And I think that's the 3rd song on the record when it comes out there May 26th. Good writing, good lyrics behind that one. Kind of explain that to the audience.
That was something that I wrote for a girl that I wasn't like trying to profess my love for her. Mm-hmm. She's a friend of mine and she was suffering a breakup. And I was like, wait a second, like we're still buddies. Like, and you can talk to me about it if you want. And, so is it a love song? Kind of. It's more so like just one's like, hey man, I'm here if you need to talk, or like, just it's cool. That kind of, I guess that's the best way I can put it. So it's more just it was a message to her saying like, we're still friends, and I won't treat you any other way. Like, and I've known her for, I don't know, going on 15 years now. So, she will not be named though, like for her own privacy. So.
Yeah, exactly right. Keep that anonymous, no doubt about it. Hey, take me back a little bit too. You kind of put on your frontman boots a while back, and you're kind of like yourself. With me, we kind of resemble each other a little bit. We create our own opportunities, and that's just how the music business works and how radio works, and being at the right place at the right time. Anything in life works that way, of just creating your own opportunity and just kind of roll the dice, see where it's at. You did that with a 2012 EP called Sunshine that I thought was really cool, and it really had a lot of cool vocals and a lot of cool songwriting aspects of it, including a song called Strawberry Lemonade, which was played on radio, which I remember too back in the day. I'm spinning records. Talk about just what you remember most about that particular EP, and for instance that song, because that EP had a lot of great songwriting on it too. I thought so.
I appreciate it. I wrote Strawberry Lemonade in like 15 minutes, to be honest. Because it's just a verse and a chorus. It's the same stuff. But I was the girl I was dating at the time, I had bought I was thinking strawberry lemonade drink mix
Mm-hmm.
from Costco or something like that. And my girlfriend at the time was going to the farmer's market with her friend, and I was just home on a Sunday morning, didn't have anything else to do because, nobody plays music on Sunday mornings except if you play in the church, and I don't. So
Mm-hmm.
I was home, and I was about to make some strawberry lemonade and have it ready for whenever she got back. Plus, it's my favorite drink in the world. But so I started singing. It was like, "Did I make you some strawberry lemonade?" And I was like, kind of need to sit down to the guitar on this one. And it, yeah, it came together pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
What I was looking for was, I knew that I wanted this progression as the chorus,
Mm-hmm.
but I knew if I did that through the whole song, it was just going to be way too monotonous, and it wasn't going to have the same the same feel or the same sound that it did. So I was like, what's the next chord? How am I going to do this? And so I was like, and I just did that like C sharp to D climb really quick, and then came back down. I was like, all right, this is good enough. Let's roll with it. And so it wound up becoming like my flagship song. So
I thought that was really cool. We get a chance to check out that. Of course, I went back to my radio days. I still keep things that are on old tapes and cassettes. People are like, what are cassettes and what are CDs and things like that. I still have a lot of stuff like that I've kept over my 20 years in the broadcast business, what have you. But I love doing that because you never know what artists you're going to come across and what songs you can always go back and look up and where some of your favorites out there. Again, guys, don't forget it's I'm Sorry I'm Fine, the newest work coming out May 26th. From Austin Gilliam, and you can also check out austingilliammusic.com for more information there, tour dates and merchandise, things like that. Well, let's have you play another one off the new record. Here it is. Like I said, it's coming up here on the May 26th, and if you're like me, you love radio because you always get an advance copy of something like that, which is really cool. So check your mailbox. It may be in there. No, I'm just kidding. It's a good record out there. Digital platforms. I know streaming is taking over now these days, but I still love collecting the hard copy CDs. What are we going to hear, my friend?
Let's do I'm Sorry, because we just shot a music video for this one and came out awesome. I have to thank a guy named Brian Manoni at Big Flavor Films for shooting the video, and as well as John Paul Long. He's the one that pretty much set that whole situation up. This is called I'm Sorry, and it would be a love song if the girl I wrote it about actually ever dated me, but she never did. So now I just call it a song. It sounds like this.
It's a song. Here we go.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be out later this year. Sorry. Here we go. You're never coming back to me now, are you? You're never gonna say my name. You're never gonna call me again, are you? You said that all I did was cause you pain. I'm sorry, I couldn't be better. I'm sorry, I'm not a jet setter. I just need a little time to figure out what I want to say. Maybe then I could show you who I could be today. Well, the feeling I get from this old house is killing me. There's just no circulation of the air. Sometimes I think that's the reason it's so hard to breathe. But I realize it's because you're not here sorry. I couldn't be better. I'm sorry. I'm not a jet setter. I just need a little time to figure out what I want to say. Maybe then I can show you who I could be today. I'm sorry, I couldn't be better. I'm sorry, I'm not a jet setter. I just need a little time to figure out what I want to say. Maybe then I could show you who I could be today. Who I could be today. Who I could be today. Oh, I'm sorry.
Good stuff. Music comes easy right there, too. Love it. And great writing from I'm Sorry, which is on the album. I'm Sorry, I'm Fine from Austin Gilliam, coming out May the 26th out there across all the digital platforms. I got to ask you about this one, too, as we got a few minutes left in the show today. Again, presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey, Honky Tonk Texas, and our friends at Gentle Ben Spirits. The last one just kind of hits you in the face, too, when it's Never Gonna Die. Tell us all about that one.
I was sitting around, the best way I can describe it is I was wondering what Bruce Springsteen and AC/DC would do if they got into a room to write a song together. Granted, I'm not comparing myself to those artists. I'm just saying that's what I was thinking at the time. So I was sitting down and I was messing around with a capo. You know how a capo is supposed to just to block off all 6 strings on any given fret of a guitar and change the key. Well, I was trying out different things on the guitar because I just felt like I was kind of hitting a wall as far as like practicing on regular scales and just playing the same old licks over and over again. So I was like, okay, so what if I messed around with a capo and only capoed like 5 of the 6 strings, but in a different position, or like 4 of the 6. And so I sat down with it and I just capoed like the E, A, D, and G strings on the 4th fret right here. And I left them open. And, well, we do what's called a drone. So sounding the same note, that B note right here, whenever the capo is done going to the 4 strings. And so that's the opening lick of the song pretty much. And I heard that and I was like, okay, like there's some Angus Young here, you know, similar to like Thunderstruck, you know.
True. Yeah.
So I was kind of going with that in my head. And then I always wanted to write like an Irish, like not a jig, because a jig is like it's almost like an Irish waltz, I think, something like that. But like something just really, really pumping, you know what I mean? So like,
oh yeah.
But like a really like a melody, you know what I mean? Not like a minor sounding song. I wanted it to still be heavy enough for the dudes, but melodic enough for the chicks. You know. So
it definitely has that good feel, kind of hits you in the face, kind of feel to it too, and it well done on the last one, Never Gonna Die, which is off the new record coming out May 26th from Austin. I'm Sorry, I'm Fine. So be on the lookout for that across all the digital platforms. We'll take one final time out here on the show, pay some bills here, of course, for our sponsors. Come back, do a little rapid fire, get to know Austin more, kind of on a personal basis, and kind of project forward to see what's coming up for the rest of 2023. Word from Bangtail Whiskey and our friends over at Gentle Ben Spirits. It's all a part of the Prosecco process. Makes it all smooth out there. The vodka, the gin, the bourbon is fantastic. Check them out and put your order in at gentleben.com. Quick word, timeout from our sponsors. More with Austin here. Keep it tuned. It is the Backstage Pass. Stay tuned.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. Back on the show again, Austin Gilliam joining us here on the Backstage Pass. Of course, tomorrow, our good friend Paige Lewis is going to drop by, and on Wednesday, special treat. He's on Broken Bow now. Fantastic artist. Got to see him in Nashville when I was there at one of the concerts we went to there for CRS 2023. John Morgan is going to come here on the Backstage Pass. Love his music out there, too. If you haven't checked out John Morgan, make sure you do that. Thursday, our good friend Jamie Bergeron, the Kickin' Cajuns, going to join us. They're going to be playing Port Neches Riverfest coming up in May. I believe that's on a Saturday night, May the 7th. If I stand corrected on that too, but the Port Neches Riverfest, one of our local festivals down here. And Jamie Bergeron will talk more about that. The Kickin' Cajuns, always fun to have a little Zydeco and kind of change it up a little bit here on the show. Again, presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey. And, of course, our friends out there over at Honky Tonk, Texas, and Gentle Ben Spirits. All right, I got to ask you, when you're not doing music, what is kind of like the number one, number two, number three hobbies? What does Austin enjoy doing outside of music?
I play chess.
Okay, which is cool.
I play chess online. I was in chess club whenever I was in high school, actually, and I never really lost it. I like the strategy, and there's all different kinds of combinations and different ways that any game can go at any given particular time. So I am a very big nerd whenever it comes to that. What else do I like doing? I hate to say that I like drinking as a hobby because it's not exactly like that. I like checking out new breweries and stuff like that, and checking out new beer. It's one of my favorite things to do. I like beer, and I like finding new places and like trying the local cuisine and the beer and stuff like that. And so most of the time it's whenever I do travel for shows, but if I'm on the road by myself, most of the time I travel by myself. Mm-hmm. So if I see a stop on the side of the road, like a diner or something, I'm like, I'm going to go check it out and see what it's about. And I found some really cool spots that way. And I found some really not so good spots that way, but like doing that, like trying new food, new beer, and playing chess all the meanwhile while I'm waiting on my food to get there to the table. So,
that's cool. I've never had anybody say the chess version of things. What's your favorite chess piece?
The Knight.
Okay.
It can be very elusive, and it's a lot more deadly than people give it credit for. So I would definitely say the Knight.
Well, I like that too. I'm trying to think. The next one I was going to ask you was about binge watching and getting into it. I'm sure you were addicted. And the show is escaping me right now, but it was the chess series that came out. Was it?
Oh, the Queen's Gambit.
Yes. Did you? I'm sure you enjoyed that.
Yeah, I barreled through it in no time, and it was cool. It was a work of fiction, so she wasn't an actual chess player, but it was really cool that they based her character off of Bobby Fischer.
True.
And so I did some deep diving on that one because I was like, wait a second, I don't know. But there if you look at Bobby Fischer's life and the games that he played, there's some parallels in there. So it's pretty cool.
It's a cool series, definitely. It really pulled you in, and like you said, fictional at the same time, but still well written and well shot out there too. Any other shows you get into when it comes to binge watching? I know for me, I got done with the series, season 1 of it, The Last of Us, on that apocalyptic type thing, which I love, apocalyptic type of series and movies. What do you get into otherwise binge watch?
Let's see. I haven't really binge watched in a while, but I started watching the new Star Trek series that came out. Like I'm telling you, man, I'm a nerd. But also, there is a show that it is 2 of my favorite kind of shows, almost like mashed together. So I'm a big Seth MacFarlane fan of like American Dad and Family Guy and stuff. But I'm a huge Star Trek fan. So Seth MacFarlane wrote a show called The Orville. So it's basically like a version of Star Trek with Seth MacFarlane's comedic humor inserted into it, and it's awesome.
It's hilarious. Yeah, check that out too. I know we've gotten into that Mandalorian, which is really cool too, because I'm a big Star Wars fan. Love that. Then I tell people too, it's one of the best series ever written. From what it was out there. Love every Harry Potter movie, Harry Potter book that's come out there, and I'm also a huge fan of the Hobbit series, which was the Lord of the Rings, the prequel to the Lord of the Rings, which
I think I'm a bigger fan of the actual Hobbit trilogy than I am the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
I'm kind of right there with you. I am.
Yeah. I mean, I love them both. I think I like the fact that they're taking on a dragon, like, and then the battle of the 5 armies. Was that?
Yes.
Was that it? Yeah.
That was it. Yep. And I still say the Desolation of Smaug, which came before the Battle of 5 Armies, was still pretty cool to see just kind of how the character Bilbo Baggins reacted with the fictional character, of course, of the dragon too, which was really cool to hear the voice as they looked for the Arkenstone, which is really cool. And I think that's one of the best series. And I'm more of kind of what you are, the prequel compared to the trilogy of the Lord of the Rings. I kind of like the Hobbit a lot more, which is cool there too. When it comes to food, man, I'll tell you this: everybody loves in the South. We know we love to eat down here. Crawfish has kind of become the seasonal thing right now, and for me, fried fish, this kick I'm getting on fried fish lately. What do you? What's kind of the craving right now? What are you getting into?
So there's a place here in town called the Hideaway that they do a crawfish boil every Sunday when it's in season, and it's the best crawfish I've ever eaten. So I was just over at the Hideaway yesterday, and they had this platter called the Big Daddy. And what it is however many pounds of crawfish you want, but they'll throw in, they do mushroom caps, they do corn, potatoes, and sausages, but they also do cheese ravioli in the water. So like you get like spicy mushrooms, spicy ravioli, shrimp, like the whole 9 yards. It's one of the best platters of crawfish I've ever had. And so like I try to go there every Sunday if I can for crawfish, if I'm available during crawfish season. And then fried fish is another thing. We've got Clear Springs restaurant here, just in between New Braunfels and Seguin. And they've got some of the best fried catfish in the area. So I mean, I'm a big guy. I'm a chubby fat kid at heart. So I like me some grease, man. I like me some spice and some grease.
Oh, that brother.
Yep.
I tell people like for Clear Springs. I haven't been up there to San Antonio with my family, relatives up there too. We try to visit at least once a month. And Clear Springs is one of my favorite. Some of the best sweet tea, unsweet tea, half and half, however you like it, or even like the Arnold Palmer with the lemonade and the tea, which is really cool. Clear Springs is just a fantastic restaurant. I love it.
Oh yeah, they got some of the best onion rings in the area too.
You can go there and get full of onion rings too. I tell you what else you get full of too is this cool album, I'm Sorry, I'm Fine, from Austin Gilliam, coming out May 26th. Then check out AustinGilliammusic.com. For more information, there it is right there on my screen. Make sure you guys go check it out when it comes out for pre-order. And, of course, May 26th, the full copies across all the digital platforms. Hey, my friend, best of luck with everything moving forward. I'm excited to see what's coming up next in 2023. Appreciate you being on the show and hope you had a great time. And let's do this again.
Absolutely, Brandon. Thank you so much, man.
You got it. Austin Gilliam here on the Backstage Pass tomorrow. Friend Paige Lewis will drop by Wednesday. John Morgan, and Thursday we'll have a little fun. Jamie Bergeron and the Kickin' Cajun. Speaking of Zydeco Crawfish, he loves all that good stuff too. He's playing Port Neches Riverfest coming up this year in May down there. One of our best local festivals. Thanks to our friends over at Gentle Ben Spirits, Honky Tonk Texas, and Bangtail Whiskey. We'll see you tomorrow. Paige Lewis about 4 o'clock, 4:30 tomorrow here on the Backstage Pass. Until then, have a great night. See you soon.